This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5, the flu season is in full swing. The restrictions hospitals are now putting into place to prevent the disease from spreading.
And after all the snow this week, potholes are already popping up in the Circle City. What the city plans to do to keep that problem under control.
And a Fair Oaks Farms worker has been sentenced in connection to the undercover animal cruelty videos. Why he will not be spending time behind bars. 5 o'clock on your Friday morning. Thanks for starting the day with us. I'm Meredith Barrett.
And I'm Lauren Casey. Alyssa Donovan is with us here to plan out your Friday forecast and, of course, look ahead to the holiday week we have coming up. Alyssa, things are warming up.
Yeah, so we're going to have a really nice holiday week ahead. Those temperatures well above average. It's not going to feel very Christmassy outside, though, because all the snow that's on the ground right now is going to melt off by then, and we don't have any snow in the forecast over the next few days. We're starting this morning in the 20s, and I wanted to show you our wind chills as well. Yesterday, those wind chills were in the single digits, some areas below 0, so it felt very cold outside. Today, though, those wind chills are not a factor. They are right close to those actual temperatures, so it's not going to feel as cold when you step out this morning. That's because those winds have shifted. They are now out of the south. That's helping bring in some of that warmer Gulf Stream air into the area today. We are seeing very quiet conditions this morning. We're seeing clear skies across the area. That satellite and radar, you can see not a cloud in the sky. That's due to that high pressure that's in control today. It's going to stay that way throughout the day and throughout the weekend. Temperatures will subtly warm over the next couple days. Today, however, temperatures still a little bit below average, only climbing into the upper 30s this afternoon. Coming up, I'll have your weekend forecast as well as your Christmas Day forecast.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. As you're heading out the door for your Friday, maybe it's your last work day, your last school day before a break for the holidays, we want to give you a look at your commute. This is over on the southeast side, I-465 and Arlington Avenue. Traffic in this area is moving along up to speed. The good news right now, no crashes to report around the metro area, so everything is traveling smoothly if you're heading out the door at this early hour.
We are in the middle of flu season, and so far the good news is the flu hasn't had a huge impact on Indiana as of right now.
But because of the recent increase in flu activity, all Indianapolis hospitals have now placed new restrictions on patient visitations. RTV6's Stephanie Wade is joining us live right now at Eskenazi Hospital. And Stephanie, explain, what do folks at home need to know?
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, if you're feeling under the weather at all, Indianapolis hospitals ask you do not come here and visit any loved ones. The Marion County Health Department announced the restrictions take effect today. Now, what that means is no visitors with symptoms of the flu, no visitors under the age of 18. Only immediate family members are allowed to visit patients. Latest numbers show over 3% of all Marion County hospital visits have been flu-related. And we've already had 4 flu deaths in the Hoosier State this season. At this point last year, there were only 2. A reminder of symptoms to look for: fever, cough, sore throat, body aches, and fatigue. It's when the infection leads to pneumonia that can cause hospitalization and even death. Now, the most at risk of that happening to are children less than 2 weeks old and adults over 65. People with a weakened immune system, chronic pulmonary, cardiovascular, or metabolic disorders, those who are obese, or women who are pregnant or recently gave birth. The point of this restriction is to protect patients and hospital staff during these times of increased flu activity. Now, if you have any questions at all, feel free to check out a healthcare facility's website or just call in advance. We're live downtown this morning. Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie, thank you. This week we had the season's first round of serious winter weather, and DPW says now is the time to be on the lookout for pothole problems across the city. Dan Parker is the director of the Indianapolis Department of Public Works. He says 7 inches of snow blanketing Indianapolis this week cost the city nearly $1 million. $700,000 was spent for salt alone. The money used to clear streets came from the same fund used to fill potholes. While the official start of winter is not until tomorrow, Parker says pothole season is showing up early.
So we had snow this Monday and Tuesday, and we had this deep freeze in the middle of the week. This morning when I went out, it was 14 degrees. This weekend it's going to be 40. So that's a freeze, and then we're going to have a thaw at the end of the week. So folks should expect that it's going to start popping up here this weekend and next week.
Parker says the key to fixing potholes is residents reporting them early instead of waiting until they're bigger in the spring. You can report potholes by using Request Indy app or by calling the Mayor's Action Center.
New information this morning after an SUV crashed into a house on Indy's east side. It injured one person inside. Investigators say that the SUV swerved to avoid another car, lost control, and drove into a home on North Drexel Avenue. A man sitting on the chair inside the house was hit and pinned underneath the SUV. He was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. 2 people in the SUV were not hurt. The crash is still ongoing.
Prosecutors have dismissed a felony criminal charge against a Tri-West High School student who was charged last month with sexual misconduct with a minor. Hendricks County prosecutors dismissed the charge against Zachary Johns just a month after it was filed. Johns' attorney says they believe strongly that the allegations did not rise to the level of being criminal, and after looking into the matter further, the state agreed that Johns had not engaged in any criminal act. Johns was 18 and the girl was 15 when the alleged assault happened.
A man accused of abusing calves at a popular northwestern Indiana farm has been sentenced. 36-year-old Edgar Gardoza Vasquez is one of 3 former employees at Fair Oaks Farms charged with animal cruelty. The charges come after an undercover video was released of workers kicking and throwing young calves. Vasquez was also facing a felony count for torturing an animal, but prosecutors dropped that charge. He's pleading guilty Monday and has been sentenced to a year probation.
Local programs need your help to continue their work with young people. The Hamilton County Youth Assistance Program pairs kids with role models who can make a huge difference in a child's life just by showing up.
Increase self-confidence, self-esteem in our kids. I hear all the time just the parents being relieved, noticing a change in their behavior, that, they're less angry maybe at home. And so it's just amazing what another person can do and really the impact that it makes for our kids.
But the Youth Assistance Program needs about 90 additional mentors to volunteer, especially men. We spoke with the mother who is hoping her son gets paired up with a mentor to boost his confidence.
As a single mom, I can do a lot, but I can't be a male role model. I can't do that for him. I would if I could, if I can't. But so he really needs that in his life, a positive role model that he can go to.
The program accepts mentors from all walks of life. The time commitment is just 1 hour a week. We have more information about signing up at theindychannel.com.
It is 5:07. A new location for the popular Amish bakery, Rise and Roll, will hold its grand opening in Fishers this morning. The bakery is known for its homemade donuts, cookies, and also pies. The first person in line will receive free donuts for a year. The new location is already giving back to the community. They'll be presenting the Fishers police officers with a check for their canine program honoring Harley, who was killed in the line of duty. The new Rise and Roll is on Fishers District Drive, and it opens at 7 a.m. As folks are heading out the door today, maybe to grab some donuts, head to work, or even school. Alyssa, what do they need to know?
So the good news is it's not nearly as cold as what we saw yesterday. Those temperatures are starting in the 20s this morning. We'll climb quickly to about 30 degrees by the noon hour. Clear and quiet conditions to start our Friday, and it's going to stay that way throughout the day. We have high pressure in control right now, and that's sticking with us into the weekend and into part of next week. We have southerly winds helping bring in some warmer air as well. That's going to make it feel a little bit warmer throughout the weekend as we climb into the low 40s, and then we are going to be close to the 50s by the time we are into next week. So we do have some nicer conditions on the way today. Highs will be into the upper 30s and low 40s at many locations. Coming up, I'll have your Christmas Day forecast.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. The impeachment process being put on hold. Coming up, why House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is threatening to delay that Senate trial.
And Harvey Weinstein is facing a new sexual assault allegation. Still ahead, why the then-teen victim wants to press charges instead of the global settlement.
And here's a live look at your commute up on the northeast side, I-465 and I-69, where traffic is traveling up to speed. No delays, no crashes here to slow you down. It's 5:09. We'll be right back after this short break.
Days from 4:30 to 7.
It is 5:12 on your Friday. Here is a live look right now at traffic over on the west side. This is our INDOT traffic camera at I-465 and West 21st Street. All traffic here is traveling up to speed.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi putting the impeachment process on hold by threatening to possibly delay President Trump's Senate trial. The president and his allies are accusing Pelosi of playing games. ABC's Inez de la Catera is in Washington with the latest.
History put on hold. President Trump becoming just the third president in U.S. history to be impeached. But House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is now refusing to take the next steps, saying she won't send articles of impeachment over to the Senate until Majority Leader Mitch McConnell reveals what the president's trial will look like.
Our founders, when they wrote the Constitution, they suspected that there could be a rogue president. I don't think they suspected that we could have a rogue president and a rogue leader in the Senate at the same time.
Democrats have been pushing to hear from 4 witnesses the White House had blocked from testifying, including Acting Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney and former National Security Advisor John Bolton. The issue coming up at last night's Democratic debate.
If President Trump thinks that he should not be impeached, he should be not scared to put forward his own witnesses.
But McConnell has already rejected that request, indicating he wants a speedy trial and that he's working in total coordination with the White House. Democrats are hoping threatening to possibly delay Trump's trial will give them leverage. But for now, at least, Republicans aren't biting.
It looks like the prosecutors are getting cold feet in front of the entire country and second guessing whether they even want to go to trial.
President Trump responding on Twitter, writing Pelosi is afraid to present impeachment to the Senate and adding, so after Democrats gave me no due process in the House, no lawyers, no witnesses, no nothing, they now want to tell the Senate how to run their trial.
We think that what they did is unconstitutional.
Lawmakers were hoping to have the Senate trial begin the week of January 6th, but that will all depend on Speaker Pelosi. Inez de la Catera, ABC News, Washington.
Well, despite the impeachment efforts, the Senate did pass a spending bill which would prevent a government shutdown. They approved the nearly $1.4 trillion spending bill in 2 separate spending packages. Both are now cleared for President Trump's signature, which must happen today to avert a shutdown. The deal includes military pay raise, funding for gun research, and raises the federal tobacco purchasing age to 21.
Film producer Harvey Weinstein is facing another sexual abuse lawsuit. Former Polish model Kasia Sokolow says when she was 16, Harvey allegedly sexually assaulted her. This was in the year 2002. She is now filing a lawsuit, a civil suit under New York's Child Victims Act, which allows victims a 1-year window to sue for abuse endured as a child. Sokolow told CNN she did not want to be part of the global settlement because she cannot accept it as just. Weinstein's legal team has not yet commented.
A task force in California says there is no animal cruelty or criminal activity linked to the dozens of horse deaths at the Santa Anita Park. Officials briefly suspended racing in March over the number of horses being euthanized from accidents on the track. There were 56 deaths between July and November just of this year. Some safety changes were made before the park reopened, and officials say that things have improved.
Christmas is less than a week away, and some people in California may not get their gifts thanks to a DoorDash driver. Police released this surveillance video of a woman stealing packages after dropping off food. She walks over to the packages near the apartment complex's entrance and takes as many as she can using a postal service bin. Police say they are working with DoorDash to help track down the thief. Yeah, they'll probably catch her. Not a good idea.
Pretty easy to spot.
All right, here we are at 5:16 on our Friday morning. Alyssa, what is our forecast looking like?
So we are actually going to see a nice quiet day, and this is the start of a quiet streak of weather. The good news with today is it's not going to be as cold to start as it was yesterday, and then we are going to see mild conditions as we head into the weekend. A very nice Christmas Day forecast ahead as well. Today, our temperatures are starting in the 20s this morning. We're right around 26 degrees in Indianapolis. We are out of the south with those winds. That's helping bring in some warmer air, and that will continue to warm throughout the day. 24-hour temperature change in Indy, 14 degrees. So that gives you an idea just about how much warmer it is this morning compared to yesterday at this time. We did see those temperatures yesterday morning in the single digits, so much warmer to start our day today, closer to average, I should say. You're still going to need that warmer jacket. High pressure is in control right now, and it's going to stay that way over the next several days. We have this southerly flow in place that's helping bring in that warmer air throughout the day today and into the weekend. It's also going going to help us with that warming trend as we start next week. Temperatures will climb into the mid-40s and close to the 50s by the time we hit that Christmas Day forecast. Looking ahead to today, starting with those clear skies this morning, we'll see clear skies throughout the day. By the noon hour, we'll climb into the low 40s to the south, mid-30s here in Indy, only climbing a few degrees more by the afternoon, and that's when we'll start to see the potential of just a little bit of high clouds filtering through as well. Overnight, that will help kind of keep us warm from that cool, dry air that's settling into place. So here's a look at our current snow cover. You can see that's right across central Indiana, and that's not going to stick around very long. As we head into the next 24 hours to 48 hours, we are going to see a lot of that start to melt off because of those temperatures climbing. We're looking at mostly sunny skies on Saturday, mostly sunny on Sunday with those temperatures in the 40s this weekend. That's just the start of the warm-up. By the time we hit Christmas, we are going to be into the mid and upper 40s with partly to mostly cloudy skies on Christmas Day. We could see some peaks of sunshine here and there. Temperature is going to be about 10 degrees above average, though, for this time of year. So really nice holiday ahead. We're not going to see a white Christmas because that snow is going to melt off by then. Today, starting with those temperatures right close to average in the 20s this morning, we'll see a mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day, warming up quickly into the upper 30s across central Indiana. Tomorrow, 40s for your Saturday. That is our winter solstice as well. That's when winter officially arrives. It's felt like winter for a while now, but that is the official winter solstice tomorrow. 41 on Sunday with partly sunny skies, and then we are into the upper 40s by Christmas.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much. Here's a look right now at your commute through the downtown area. If you're heading to work at this hour, no problems at I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Let's take a look at our map. No issues to report around the metro area. You can see the interstates are green. Drive times are all traveling up to speed, so you don't need to plan to leave any earlier this morning for your Friday, but of course we'll keep you updated. Taking a look over on the west side of town, I-70 and High School Road. You can see traffic is traveling smoothly, both eastbound and westbound in that direction. So maybe if you're heading out to catch a flight early this morning or dropping someone off at the airport, no problems over on that side of town.
Ebola is arguably one of the most feared viruses on the planet, and the FDA just approved a vaccine to prevent it for the first time in the U.S. The vaccine Ervebo protects against the Zaire Ebola viruses that has been the most common cause of the outbreaks. Ebola cases in the U.S. are rare, typically involving healthcare workers treating the infected or infected people traveling into the country. The Zaire strain has killed around 2,000 people in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The FDA's decision comes after the European Commission licensed the vaccine last month.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture has removed the fictional nation of Wakanda from its list of trading partners. It's being removed after someone noticed on Twitter that the country from the Black Panther is on the agency's tariff tracker. The USDA says Wakanda was added to the list for testing purposes and it was supposed to be removed. The agency later joked in a tweet saying, quote, "While we removed the Kingdom of Wakanda from our list of U.S. free trade partners, our relationship will always be strong. Hashtag Wakanda forever."
3 veterans received a big gift this holiday season after the break. How a New York business is helping them get a new lease on life.
And here's a live look right now at your West Side Drive, I-465 and I-74 near Crawfordsville Road. Traffic here is moving along just fine, picking up for your morning commute on this Friday. Stick around, it's 5:20. We'll be right back.
Dillard's, the style of your life.
Welcome back. Time right now is 5:24. Here's a live look at your commute to our northwest, I-65 at I-865 up in the Dogleg, where traffic is moving along just fine for your Friday commute.
The only thing cuter than all these baby Yoda memes floating around the internet are some fresh new human babies sporting baby Yoda caps. Newborns at Franciscan Health Indianapolis were gifted these tiny Star Wars themed hats. They were knitted by Erin Allis from Crown Point, Indiana. Some of the materials she used were donated by her church, and other birthing centers throughout Indiana also received some of the caps. 20 newborns here in Indianapolis and another 10 in Mooresville get to go home with these cute little hats inspired by Baby Yoda from the Disney Plus series, The Mandalorian.
Well, this holiday season, veterans in New York are getting a 2-ton thank you. Geico Insurance and the collision company Caliber teamed up to play Santa, gifting 3 cars to local vets. The vehicles are refurbished with many of the repair materials coming from donations. In the trunk was also a basket full of clothes, gift cards, and auto supplies. Those in charge of the gifts say that the hope is the cars will give these veterans freedom and a new lease on life. That's pretty awesome. It is the season for giving and usually the season for a white Christmas, but that snow, it is melting, Alyssa, and
I know.
I'm not too mad about it because the parking lot where the snow still is, it is slick out there.
It is slick out there. It's slick by my apartment as well. The roads are still a little covered. The good news is we are going to start to see that melting off today. Temperatures starting not as cold as we did yesterday. Yesterday we were in the single digits at many locations in the teens, and today we're in the 20s. It's not going to feel as cold as you step outside, but keep in mind it's still cold out. You need that winter jacket to start the day. Temperatures will climb close to average this afternoon into the upper 30s. We'll see sunny skies throughout the day, a mixture of clouds by the afternoon, and this is the start of a little subtle warming trend as we head into the weekend and into next week. You can see the weekend we're back into the 40s, so just a little bit above average. Winter officially arrives on Saturday, even though it's felt like winter for a while now, and then by Christmas Day those temperatures are into the upper 40s. We are not going to see any snow between now and then, so it's not going to be a white Christmas, but it is going to be a pleasant one when it comes to weather.
Alyssa, thank you. Two men are suing a former Lawrence Township deputy constable and Nordstrom after an incident outside of Nordstrom Rack. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, why they claim the constable made unconstitutional demands.
And here's a live look at I-465 near the Sam Jones Expressway to the west. Traffic here is traveling up to speed. Stick around. We'll have more news, weather, and traffic coming up at 5:30.
RTV6 is working for you.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
A small church that had a big impact on the community endures two devastating tragedies weeks before Christmas.
How the congregation is now pulling together and how you can help them rebuild. Plus, we're right in the middle of flu season and hospitals around Marion County are doing their part to keep the virus at bay.
Our Stephanie Wade working for you this morning with what you need to know before visiting loved ones in the hospital. But before we get to our top stories on this Friday, we got to talk about our Friday forecast.
Yeah, it is getting warmer out there, and Alyssa, people are going to be surprised when they walk out the door and it isn't as frigid as it was yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday was just bitter outside. It's not nearly as bad to start today. We're actually back to average with that starting temperature in the 20s this morning, 26 degrees in Indianapolis. We do have a few cooler spots on the map this morning, but again, not as cold as we were yesterday. In the teens, though, in Crawfordsville and up in Peru, Tipton, and Greenfield at 19 degrees right now. So a few cool spots to start the day, but we are going to warm very quickly today. That's because high pressure is in control. You can see on our satellite and radar, we don't have any cloud coverage to start our day. We will see some high clouds filter through this afternoon, just with a quick passing disturbance. Besides that, though, high pressure is in place and it's staying in control today and into the weekend. We have southerly winds. That's going to help bring in some warmer air as well and help continue that warming trend over the next several days. Today, we are starting in the 20s and we are warming very quickly. We'll see mostly sunny skies to start, a little bit of cloud coverage by this afternoon. Highs will be into the upper 30s. We have a very nice Christmas Day forecast coming up. I'll have those details.
All right, Alyssa, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now at traffic over on the west side, I-465 at Sam Jones Expressway. You can see traffic here is picking up by all the headlights moving across your screen. No problems here, so that is good news. Let's plan out your drive, though. Taking a look at our Traffic Now map. I want to take you down to the south side. If part of your commute is on State Road 37 northbound, let's start here in Greenwood at Stones Crossing Road. It's an 11-minute drive northbound up the I-465 ramp, so everything there is traveling just fine. If you're using I-65 northbound, starting at the Southport Road exit, heading all the way up to the North Split downtown, it's a 10-minute drive, so that is traveling up to speed as well. Let's take a live look at I-70 near High School Road. No problems heading eastbound or westbound right now for your Friday commute.
There are new developments this morning about a confrontation caught on camera that led to the firing of a Lawrence Township deputy constable.
I got my rights to do anything I want to do. I'm a police officer.
You can't
Video shows the constable demanding identification from two men after they left the Nordstrom Rack on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Now those men are suing the constable, the security company he was working for, and Nordstrom. The lawsuit says the constable made 48 unconstitutional demands while calling the men suspicious and refusing to explain why he wanted them to show their IDs. It also says the constable wrongfully detained them when he wouldn't let them drive out of the parking lot. Eventually, an IMPD officer officer arrived and talked to the constable, then told the men they were free to leave. RTV6 has reached out to Nordstrom and the security company involved for a comment on the lawsuit.
An update this morning on a homicide investigation on the city's west side. Police have arrested a teen they believe murdered another teen back in November. 16-year-old Dwan Taylor was taken into custody yesterday. He's being charged as an adult on the death of Elijah Taylor. Police say the November 17th shooting happened at the Wildwood Village Apartments during an attempted robbery. Elijah Taylor was found unresponsive when police arrived and declared dead at the scene. Dwan Taylor is now charged with murder, robbery resulting in serious bodily injury, and dangerous possession of a firearm.
And out of Northwest Indiana, a man who claimed he was acting in self-defense when he fired 16 shots into a busy Walmart last year has been sentenced to prison. Last month, 27-year-old Alex Hughes was convicted on a criminal recklessness charge for the September 2018 shooting in Hobart. Hughes said he was shooting toward a group of rival gang members. One man was shot 4 times while another man in that group shot toward Hughes, striking a 9-year-old boy. Both victims sustained non-life-threatening injuries. Thursday, Hughes was sentenced to 3 years in prison. A church on the city's southwest side needs your help after a fire damaged their building, causing $100,000 worth of damage.
And sadly, this fire is just one of the recent events testing that congregation's faith. The Church of Lord Jesus Christ went up in flames Wednesday night, along with everything inside. That included Christmas presents waiting to be sent out to families in need, and also the food pantry, which feeds hundreds of families every month. The church also recently lost its assistant pastor, Chris Smith. He was shot and killed last month at Jake's Pub while celebrating his bachelor party. Still, members of that small church are keeping the faith, hoping to rebuild.
We always give back all we can to the neighborhood and to the people, and it's just a shame that for it all to be gone or just even postponed, because there's a lot of families out here that's in need.
Maybe we can help restore this little place, because it's been a godsend for people.
Well, if you'd like to help out, make donations, or volunteer to help repair the damages to that church, you can reach out to us at workingforyou@rtv6.com, and we will connect you with the right people at that church. So far, there have still been 4 flu deaths here in the Hoosier State, and that's already this season.
In an effort to keep the flu at bay, all of the Marion County hospitals will begin to enforce flu restrictions starting today. RTV6's Stephanie Wayne joins us live with what you need to know if you plan on visiting a loved one at the hospital in the near future. Stephanie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Well, if you're having any symptoms of the flu or are under the age of 18, all Indianapolis hospitals ask you stay home. They say starting today, the only people allowed to visit patients here are immediate family members. They say because of recent increase in flu activity, they're placing all hospitals under these restrictions. As you said, there have been 4 flu deaths so far this season. At this point last year, for comparison, there were only 2. A reminder of symptoms to look for: fever, cough, sore throat, body aches, and fatigue. It becomes dangerous when the infection leads to pneumonia that can cause hospitalization and even death. The most at risk include children less than 2 weeks old and adults over 65, people with a weakened immune system, chronic pulmonary, cardiovascular, or metabolic disorders, those who are obese, or women who are pregnant or just recently gave birth. The goal here is to protect patients and hospital staff. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to check out a healthcare facility's website or just call ahead. Reporting live downtown this morning, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Stephanie, thank you. Indiana Fever legend Tamika Catchings has been nominated for this year's Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame class. Catchings, who played for the Fever from 2002 to 2016, will be on the ballot alongside Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Kevin Garnett, among others. Catchings was named 2011 WNBA MVP, leading the Fever to the WNBA championship the following year. She also won 4 consecutive Olympic gold medals with Team USA. Finalists for the Hall of Fame will be announced during NBA All-Star Weekend in February. The class of 2020 will be announced during the NCAA Final Four in Atlanta in April.
Indianapolis International Airport is ending the year with the announcement of a new nonstop flight to Cancun. Budget airline Frontier will offer seasonal flights twice a week on Mondays and Fridays. This flight will make Frontier the only ultra-low-cost airline to offer Hoosiers a nonstop international flight. The inaugural flight will take off at 11:55 this morning. At 5:37, let's check in with Alyssa Donovan in our Friday commute forecast.
And we are starting very nice this morning compared to yesterday. Those temperatures closer to average. Some spots are still in the teens, so a few cool spots on the map, but most of us a little bit warmer than what we saw yesterday. In the 20s throughout our morning, we're going to see clear skies. We still have some of that snow and ice packed on the roadways, but we are going to see that melt off throughout the day and throughout the weekend. That's because we have high pressure in control right now, and it's going to stay that way for the next several days. We have southerly winds in place that's helping push in some of that warmer air as well, so we're going to see this subtle warming trend over the next couple days, which will help melt off a lot of that snow and ice that's still around central Indiana right now. Starting clear today, as we head through the day, we're going to see those light winds out of the south. We'll see a little bit of cloud coverage filter through this afternoon. Highs today will climb into the upper 30s. Some areas to the south will be into the low 40s, so we are going to see that snow melt off quickly today. And then we are going to see a fairly nice weekend ahead, a very nice Christmas Day forecast as well. I'll have those details in just a few minutes.
Alyssa, thank you. A prominent Christian magazine is breaking its own protocol and weighing in on a political hot topic. The publication's editor-in-chief is calling for the removal of President Trump from office.
And time is running out to get those presents in the mail. Coming up, we are breaking down the deadlines you should know about to make sure that your packages arrive on time. It is 5:39, and here's a live look over on the east side. This is I-465 and I-70. Things are moving along up to speed. We'll be right back after this short break.
About to fix it.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 5:42 on your Friday, and here's a live look at US 31, a little south of 166th Street. Lots of headlights out that way. Traffic's moving along smoothly northbound and southbound. No issues to slow you down. Well, a Colorado radio show has been canceled after one of the hosts made some controversial comments about school shootings.
Chuck Bonowell of the Chuck and Julie show said on Tuesday that he wished for, quote, a nice school shooting, end quote, to interrupt the impeachment process in Congress. On Wednesday, he and his co-host were out of a job. Jeff Todd has reaction from the father of a young man who died in a school shooting.
I listened to it and I was infuriated and upset. You know, who would do something like this?
John Castillo says he was visiting his son Kendrick's grave when he heard about the comments from Chuck Bonowell. Kendrick died in May at the STEM school Highlands Ranch shooting, the most recent name added to a list of Colorado kids killed at their own school.
It's inexcusable to me anywhere to joke about what was joked about.
You just can't recklessly make a statement like that and think that it's taken lightly or, you know, it's funny.
This afternoon, it was John's turn on the 710 KNUS airwaves.
I am talking about it because it's not the right thing to do. And in our society, before we can fix anything, we have to focus on what the right thing is.
Castillo has become a vocal advocate, asking people to be better to each other and more responsible.
We can't try to promote change if we're not being completely transparent and honest.
He said today he supports the firing of Bonowell and wouldn't accept an apology because it's not about him. The comment offended so many people from so many tragedies.
Let's get rid of the hurt and let's start working towards the good.
I love you, friend.
Likewise.
Thank you.
I wish that all people would just learn to cherish their relationships. I wish we still had our son.
In a statement, Chuck Bonowell said the comment was a joke, going on to say he was sorry it was not received that way.
It is 5:44. A prominent Christian magazine founded by the late Billy Graham published an op-ed calling for President Trump to be removed from office. The piece was written by Christianity Today's editor-in-chief, Mark Galli. He wrote it while the magazine typically says that it stays out of politics to allow Christians to follow their own political convictions. Trump's impeachment, he says, was important enough to justify the commentary. Gallo also said that it was clear that Trump abused his authority and called his actions, quote, profoundly immoral. He also urged evangelicals to stop supporting the president. The White House has not commented on that piece.
Meanwhile, the House handed President Trump a win Thursday, voting to pass his revised version of the North American Free Trade Agreement. The U.S.-Mexico-Canada Agreement, or USMCA, passed with overwhelmingly bipartisan support. The deal, for the most part, keeps NAFTA intact, but it also addresses digital trade. It also gives U.S. farmers greater access to Canada's agriculture market and puts into place stronger provisions regarding the enforcement of labor and environmental standards. The bill now moves to the Senate, where a vote is expected early next year.
In New Zealand, a mandatory gun buyback program has ended. The initiative's goal was to get rid of most semi-automatic weapons, along with certain types of ammunition and large capacity magazines, and get those off the streets. The program was created following attacks on 2 mosques in which 51 people were killed earlier this year. Gun owners in the country had until today to turn in the newly illegal firearms and parts. Police estimate around 32,000 people took part in the program, collecting more than $66 million in total. While the government touted this as a success, gun lobby groups say there are still tens of thousands of firearms still in circulation.
Fires continue to burn in the state of New South Wales in Australia, and conditions are expected to worsen. The fire has burnt through large sections of the Blue Mountains National Park, which is 55 miles northwest of Sydney. And the flames have now turned deadly. 2 volunteer firefighters died Thursday while on duty. 3 others were also injured. A state of emergency has been declared as a record-breaking heat wave is expected to roll in this weekend.
Well, back here in the U.S., a sudden snow squall developed a frosty blanket on New York City. Watch this. The squalls, they're fast-moving, intense storms that can be ferocious but short-lived. Twitter users posted this time-lapse video of the squall moving in, quickly enveloping those skyscrapers. The storm covered the city in a cloud of snow. You see it there, but it left only a dusting behind. Central Park was left with close to a half an inch of snow, and that's according to the National Weather Service in New York. Back here at home and across the Midwest, Alyssa, what's it looking like outside today?
So we are seeing some calmer conditions than what we saw yesterday when it comes to those wind chills, but I wanted to show you that they had that snow squall and that storm in New York. Now they are seeing that cold air that we saw yesterday that's creeping in at 6 degrees with that wind chill in Buffalo right now. So you can see that cold air has creeped that way. We are starting to see a little bit more relief today. That wind chill in Indianapolis at 21 degrees, so it doesn't feel as cold as it did yesterday morning. Our actual temperature to start today at 26 degrees, so it's going to feel not nearly as chilly. We do have a few cool spots on the map this morning. Kokomo at 14 degrees, Bloomington at 26 as well. So a few teens this morning. Over the past 24 hours, we did have a big temperature swing, 14 degrees in Indianapolis. So at this time yesterday, we were in the single digits, a little bit warmer to start our day. Those temperatures back to average. Now we do have this southerly wind in place. It's very calm right now, but what that's doing is that's helping bring in some of that warmer air today. So that's why we're not starting nearly as cold today. We've seen those winds shift, and then we also have high pressure in place. Those two things combined are why we are going to see those temperatures climbing today and tomorrow into the weekend and into next week. This high pressure is going to be in control for a while now. We don't really have any major disturbances on the way, so we're going to see some dry conditions over the next few days. Throughout the day today, starting mostly sunny this morning, temperatures will climb into the mid-30s by the noon hour with a little bit more cloud coverage expected this afternoon, but it's going to be a pretty quiet day when it comes to weather. I want to show you right now the current snow coverage map across Indiana. You can see that's all the way across central Indiana, but it's not going to stay that way as we head over the next 48 hours or so. We're going to warm today, so we're going to see some of that melting, and then we're going to warm into this weekend. Temperatures climbing into the 40s on Saturday and Sunday with plenty of sunshine that will allow us to warm up and melt off a lot of that snow. Looking ahead to our Christmas Day forecast, 47 degrees for our high. We're going to see mostly cloudy skies, so it's going to be above average for our holiday. Again, not expecting any storm systems between now and then, so we are not going to see a white Christmas this year, but it is going to be a nicer Christmas when it comes to temperatures. So maybe you want to do something outside with your family because we are going to see some nicer conditions. Today, starting in the 20s this morning, climbing into the 30s this afternoon with partly to mostly sunny skies. Winter arrives officially tomorrow, even though we've had plenty of wintry weather this week. It's officially here starting tomorrow, and then we are going to continue that warming trend as we approach the holiday.
Alyssa, thank you. Let's take a look right now at your Friday commute. Coming in over here from the west side. It is a 12-minute drive on I-70 eastbound from Ronald Reagan Parkway to I-65 at the south split. No issues there. Looking over here on I-74 going from Acton Road to I-465, a quick 5-minute drive for you, so that's traveling up to speed. Let's take a live look right now at I-70 and County Road 525 east. No issues here to slow you down. Traffic's moving along smoothly, both eastbound and westbound.
As you're making your list and checking it twice, make sure you check those shipping deadlines too. Christmas is less than a week away, and here are some of the biggest dates you'll need to know. First up, FedEx. Today is the last day to get your packages out for 2-day shipping, and you have until the 23rd for overnight shipping. For Target, Best Buy, and USPS, the deadline is also today. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you've got until Sunday. It's Sunday for Walmart, too, and for UPS, it's Monday. We've got this entire list of all the deadlines you need to know on the RTV6 app.
Toy maker Fisher-Price is getting unwanted social media attention, and it's all thanks to a new playset. It's called Fisher-Price's Snacks for Two Charcuterie or Meat and Cheese Board. The 15-piece set includes fake marble plates, wood-accented cutting board, and real fabric napkins. There's also faux snacks of salami, cheese, and pull-apart grapes and crackers. Some people are attacking the toy set for being too snooty, too hipsterish, and too highbrow, but others are defending it, calling it cute and something they would have liked to have as kids. And I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's very cute.
I could go for one of those right now.
I could go for some charcuterie right now.
Warm and wacky, heinous and tacky. Today is National Ugly Sweater Day. Coming up, we'll have a look at some of the most ugly festive holiday sweaters and how you can participate in the day. That's coming up.
And don't forget WeatherTech gift cards.
The holidays are here, and that means ugly is in again. Today is National Ugly Christmas Sweater Day, and it's easy to celebrate. Just find or make the most hideous and festive sweater you can. Sweater doesn't fit? Even better. It's not just an iconic fad. Ugly sweaters have become big business. If you happen to be flying Alaska Airlines today, make sure you don that ugly holiday sweater, and you could get priority boarding.
Ooh, I like that guy's sweater.
Wow.
That is fancy. All right, speaking of the holidays, it'll be a very Merry Christmas for some children in the Bahamas who lost everything in Hurricane Dorian. And it's all thanks to the generosity of a group of Floridians. Thousands of toys were loaded onto a plane heading for the Bahamas for children there on the Grand Bahamas and Abaco Islands. This special delivery was Robert Arkin's birthday wish.
My birthday wish is to hire a DC-3 and fill it with toys and send it over and have the kids have a big smile for Christmas, which they normally wouldn't have because they have nothing.
Well, the plane landed Thursday, and we're told that Santa even dropped off a few gifts early. That's such a great idea. I love that.
Yeah. Very good.
We've got to talk about our forecast this Friday, also looking ahead to Christmas, and things are warming up, Alyssa.
That's right. We're actually going to have above average temperatures on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Today, though, we're just starting that warming trend. Temperatures not nearly as cold as we started yesterday. You saw our temperature just climbed a little bit right here in our graphic. We're at 27 degrees right now in Indianapolis. Yesterday at this time, we were in the single digits. As we head through the day, we're climbing into the upper 30s. This weekend, those temperatures are into the low 40s, continuing that warming trend as we approach the holidays. I'll have more details on that coming up on Good Morning Indiana. We'll be right back.